Hey everyone, so on the last video we painted up this Fortnite style chest, and in this video we're going to work on the inside. We're going to set up a way to store all of your weapons or anything else you want to put in there. We're going to see what's in the box, and yeah, that's about it. We'll get started. So if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and put any comments in the box. I started out by drawing the shape of the rocket launcher inside the box and all of the shapes for the explosion. The paint palette was pretty simple: red, yellow and blue with a little bit of white, all primary colours. I started by painting the darker blue in the far left corner, moving towards a lighter blue and then warming up the colour into pink where the explosion was going to be. I outlined the shape of the explosion in white and blended towards a yellow. I mixed up an orange colour just to add in shadows and the hottest parts of where the flames were. I used red, orange and even a little bit of black in the tail end of where the hottest part of the explosion is, where the rocket is tailing off from. I painted in the long part of the rocket blaster in black, then I mixed up a green colour using green and yellow, and to tone it down into being a bit more of an earthy kind of green, I mixed in some of the oranges. I wasn't sure on what colour I wanted to paint the other side of the box, so I started off by painting kind of a brown colour, but I didn't ultimately like it, so I ended up painting over it in black. I added in the spots of debris and some of the trails from bullets and things flying out from the explosion. I found it a bit stressful doing this part because I was quite happy with how the explosion looked, but I didn't want to mess it up. Drawing on the face of the rocket launcher was quite difficult because it was so small, so I used a really tiny brush and just used black and white for the eyes and the mouth and teeth. I didn't get a lot of details in the teeth because it is so small on the box. Okay, so we've finished painting the inside of our box. So here we've got the rocket launcher with all of the flames. This is going to be the part of the box that you see really well when you open the box to get the weapons out. And this part of the bottom we're going to put in some inserts. So I've got some velvet that I have left over from Christmas, and I've got two choices, so I can put it in a dark blue to go with it, or otherwise I can use a dark red. So which do you think's better, Mr. Moons?
I think the dark blue one.
Dark blue. Okay, so we're going to go with a dark blue insert, and we're going to make that so there's a little section for each weapon to go in. Okay, so to make the insert for the inside of the box, I'm going to be using a ruler, and I've got a piece of black card that I'm going to attach this blue velvet ribbon onto. So card, a ruler and ribbon, and I also have a scoring board to help with straight folds when I start folding the card, and an embossing tool. But if I didn't have one, or if I managed to lose this and just couldn't find it in my house, I wouldn't really mind. It'd just be a bit scruffier in the end. And I also have a glue gun for gluing everything together. Okay, so I stuck about 1,000 pieces of velvet over this insert.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
I drove myself mad. I burned myself with the glue gun, and then I've decided that it's a bit of a mess. So I'm chucking this one out, and I'm going to start again with a little bit less velvet. I measured out where the folds would be for the insert, and there would have to be 2 larger blocks, which would be the parts that stand up. Those were 2.4 centimetres each, and the shorter part, which would be the velvet sitting on the bottom, was 1.9. I cut the paper and used the embossing tool to score out the folds. I used the hot glue gun to glue on a piece of velvet on each of the smaller, narrower strips and in between the two larger strips. I turned the card over and glued the edges around so that it would make a neat edge when it went in the box. Once all of the velvet was stuck on, I managed to fold the insert, which was a bit awkward, but I managed it, and glue the parts that stick up to each other using the hot glue gun at the back. The fit of the insert into the box was a little bit tight. I'm not great at maths and I didn't allow for the fact that the velvet at the edges was folding over, so made it sit a little bit tight, but still I managed to fit it in. Okay, so that's it, the Fortnite box for storing all of your weapons and toys. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave any comments in the box, and we'll see you next time.